I am the last fertility bride of my lineage, capable of defying natural laws to grant offspring to those on death's doorstep. In my past life, when Damien lay dying, the Wilson family patriarch personally came to beg me to marry into their household. 3 months after our wedding, I was confirmed to carry triplets. Even the critically ill Damien gradually recovered through the blessings of my fertility powers. Overjoyed, the Wilson patriarch promised to transfer 20% of family shares to me after childbirth. On my delivery day, Damien sent dozens of homeless men to storm the delivery room. They tortured me until I miscarried, cradling my 3 lifeless babies. I demanded answers through tears. Damien stared coldly. If you hadn't forced your fertility rituals on me and gotten pregnant, Lorraine would never have fled and been tortured to death by vagrants on the road. He slammed the door shut. Since you enjoy blessing men so much, have your fill today. That night, I bled out from their brutality. When I reopened my eyes, I'd been reborn to the day the Wilsons came proposing. Watching the bowing family patriarch, I calmly stated, fertility blessings are superstitious folklore. The prestigious Wilson family surely needs no ritual bride to continue its lineage. The patriarch persisted. 9 generations of single heirs. We can't let the bloodline end with Damien. We'll pay 10 million. Pale as death, Damien staggered and supported by attendants. I'll never marry her. Our gazes locked. His eyes glacial. Grandfather, this fertility bride nonsense is her money-grabbing scheme. I'll fully recover within 3 months. I smirked inwardly. Let's wait those 3 months then. The conflicted patriarch hesitated. Sir, your grandson speaks wisely. The Wilsons surely have divine protection. Seeing my resolve, the old man finally withdrew. Damien suddenly turned back, leaning heavily against the doorframe. Why won't you look at me? Earlier, you'd always clutch my sleeve. His accusatory tone carried echoes of our past life when he'd violently rejected my supportive touch. Snarling, I hate being touched. You brought this on yourself. I chuckled coldly. Mr. Wilson, we've only just met today. Realizing he'd referenced our shared past, Damien stiffened. Stop pretending. I know you're reborn too. Otherwise, why expose your own fertility lies to grandfather? I remained silent as he continued. I won't harm you this life if you swear not to interfere with my marriage to Lorraine. Your parents stay safe too. Rest assured, I said evenly. I wish you and Miss Vincent many healthy children. Though I wondered if his failing body would survive the wedding night. Damien studied me with turbulent emotions before finally declaring. Good. From now on, we're strangers. But if any rumors distress Lorraine or threaten our union, his unspoken threat hung heavy. Understood. I smiled, watching death's shadow cling to his retreating figure. The Wilsons had just left, but rumors about me were already spreading like wildfire. Everyone claimed I'd fabricated a miracle pregnancy to sabotage the Wilson-Vincent alliance for a shot at marrying into wealth. Online trolls doxed my address, smashed my windows, and now strangers pointed fingers whenever I stepped outside. A woman so desperate for status she'd ruin her reputation with fake pregnancy claims? Trading bedroom favors for a ring might as well be a prostitute. I kept my head down, only to collide with Damien. He stood protectively beside Lorraine. Her tearful whisper carried, "Is this the bride grandfather Wilson chose? If she really could, give you heirs." Damien's warning glare shifted to me as he soothed her. She's just a con artist. Even if the fertility rumors were true, I'd never marry for convenience. My condition isn't terminal, 3 months max. My nails bit into my palms. So the smear campaign was his doing, a loyalty display for his precious Lorraine. Scrolling through new trending topics, my breath hitched. Ethan Cole's terminal diagnosis dominated feeds. Comments flooded in. The Coles started funeral preparations. All those charities, why do good people die young? If only that miracle cure nonsense were real. An idea sparked. I'd been hiding for days to avoid the Wilsons. But Grandfather Wilson's men dragged me to their estate anyway. Trapped in a side courtyard, I stared at my third moldy meal. This is spoiled. I told the sneering maid. I'm still Mr. Wilson's guest. She dumped the plate into trash. Leftovers from Lorraine's meals. You're lucky it's not slop. Rage blurred my vision. My palm cracked across her face before I registered moving. Damien stormed in hours later with Lorraine clinging to his arm. Claire. She simpered. I understand your disappointment. But attacking my staff? Fresh scratches oozed on my neck as she continued. Please apologize. Why? I met Damien's glare. Lorraine lunged, digging manicured claws into my wounds. Blood welled as I jerked back, sending her sprawling. Claire. Damien roared, catching his swooning darling. Lorraine's eyelids fluttered dramatically as he spat, You vicious. I didn't stay to hear the rest. The Coles needed a miracle. And I needed revenge. Claire. You truly have a wicked heart. Lorraine has a heart condition and can't handle stress. Not only did you bully her and her people, but you dared hurt her right in front of me. I didn't. I bit back through gritted teeth. She attacked me first. I only raised my hand to defend myself. You're still lying. All this time pretending to be meek and unambitious, were you just waiting for the perfect moment to kill Lorraine? So there'd be nobody left to compete with you for the position of Mrs. Wilson? So you could worm your way back into the Wilson family? My head snapped sideways from the brutal slap, sending me sprawling across the floor. Damien's icy voice rained down from above. Take her outside and beat her. Don't stop until Lorraine wakes up. If Lorraine never recovers. His words dripped venom. I'll have you and your entire family pay with your lives. They dragged me to the courtyard, stripping me naked before the gathering crowd. Salt-soaked bamboo canes split my flesh with each strike. Damien addressed the onlookers with cold fury. This lying whore's been spreading rumors about being some miracle bride, claiming she can cure the terminally ill and carry heirs for dying men. She used these lies to swindle people while scheming to replace my wife. Today, I'll purge this evil from our midst. My screams tore through the air. I never lied. I'm innocent. But the crowd only jeered louder, cheering as the bamboo rods found their mark. I told you I don't want to marry you. I swore I'd stay away from you and Lorraine. Damien. Why won't you let me go? Blood flecked my lips as I shrieked. Damien's grip tightened on the bamboo staff. His gaze dropped to my abdomen. This is for your own good. Claire. If you become barren, Grandfather will finally release you from this marriage contract. We can both return to our proper lives. The bamboo whistled through air before crashing into my womb. Darkness swallowed me as blood streamed down my thighs. When I regained consciousness, the Wilson family patriarch stood at my bedside. Damien went too far defending Lorraine. The doctors say your uterus was nearly destroyed. He sighed dramatically. What if we truly need you to carry an heir someday? That boy never understands priorities. I clenched the silk sheets, silent despair choking me. Rest well. The old man patted my hand. Once Lorraine conceives, I'll ensure your triumphant return to the family. Forced to recuperate at the Wilson estate, I heard constant updates about the wedding preparations. Whispers described how Damien, despite his own frail health, personally nursed Lorraine through her trauma, brewing medicines and even bathing her himself. Memories flooded back from my past life, being moved to a guest room after miscarriage complications. I can't stand the smell of medicine, Damien had complained. I'd developed bed sores lying untreated for weeks while he never once visited. Now I understood he'd always been capable of tenderness. Just never for me. Strangely, Damien's health improved daily as wedding plans progressed. His doctors warned against overexertion, but he brushed them off to hike mountains with Lorraine. By all appearances, his terminal illness was miraculously vanishing, just as he'd always claimed it would after 3 months. Mr. Wilson's gaze toward me shifted from initial anticipation to eventual indifference. The tension I'd been holding gradually eased, until the day he sought me out. I sensed resolution approaching. He sipped tea calmly. I originally wanted you to marry Damien. But fate clearly has other plans. I owe you a debt. Our families have long-standing business ties. The Coles recently inquired about you. If you wish to join a prominent household, I can arrange it. Though I've explained the rumors about your supposed fertility blessings for dying men are unfounded. The Coles remain insistent. Your thoughts? Relief washed over me. Thank you. I accept. The Coles' philanthropic legacy outweighed mere commerce. If their household needed an auspicious bride to continue their line, I'd willingly become Ethan's proxy. That evening, I approached Mrs. Cole, anticipating disbelief given the swirling rumors. I braced for rejection. Instead, tearful fingers clasped mine. Dear child, even if it were true, I couldn't condemn you to widowhood before marriage. Through my persistent appeals, the matriarch finally whispered, let me consider this. Now success bloomed. Mr. Wilson regarded me with newfound warmth. With Ethan's life fading, the Wilsons' timely assistance would secure future alliances. My compliance had resolved his pressing concern, earning visible approval as he personally helped me rise. Such an obedient girl deserves proper bridal preparations. You'll have a splendid send-off. Send-off? To whom? Damien's shocked voice interrupted. To Mr. Wilson began. I've said I won't marry her. Damien stormed in. Even if you protect her? Lorraine remains my only love. I'll never take another. Mr. Wilson sighed. Rest assured. You'll be a grandfather. Damien's jubilant announcement froze the room. Lorraine's pregnant. Over a month along. Those quacks claimed I was sterile and dying within 3 months. Yet here I stand healthy after today's outing. Our private physician confirmed it. His triumphant gaze sliced through me. So you needn't force me to marry Claire for superstitions. Send her away before she schemes again. I stayed silent. My engagement to Ethan rendered his accusations meaningless. Let him think what he would. So long as the harassment ceased. Misinterpreting my quiet as shame. Damien smirked. Leave today. Never return. Impossible. Mr. Wilson recovered. Chiding. Claire marries Ethan in 3 days, same as your wedding. What? Damien paled. Staring at me in disbelief. Are you marrying Ethan Cole? Damien froze for a moment before realization struck. When you mentioned marriage earlier, it's between you and Ethan? Not me? Of course. Didn't you insist you'd only want Lorraine? The Wilson family patriarch frowned. Perplexed. Given your declaration, I naturally stopped pressuring you. I kept my head bowed, waiting to slip away. With matters settled, I'd no patience for Damien's mind games. His hand suddenly clamped around my wrist. Pain forced my gaze upward, meeting his bloodshot eyes brimming with confusion, rage, and dread. How could you marry him? His voice cracked. Who permitted this? Weren't you determined to marry me? I scoffed. Damien, did your recovery erase your memory? I've told you countless times, I neither want nor will marry you. My lips curled coldly. Besides, who I wed is none of your concern. Weren't you the one demanding we become strangers? Damien's face darkened as my words hung between us. After an eternity, he released me. Jaw clenched. Eyes inscrutable. Rubbing my bruised wrist. I bid farewell to the Wilson patriarch. I intended to book a hotel. But Mrs. Cole insisted I stay at Ethan's estate. You're practically his bride. She chided warmly. Our home is yours now. The villa's masculine scent made my cheeks flush. Pulse quickening. When knocking echoed through the foyer, I expected Mrs. Cole's return. Instead, Damien stood there. What do you want? I bristled. His Adam's apple bobbed. Must you chase status so desperately? Is wedding into privilege your only ambition? What nonsense are you spouting? I snapped. He inhaled sharply. If you're deceiving the Coles with fertility superstitions. If Ethan dies childless after your wedding, your family will pay dearly. I laughed mirthlessly. Not everyone murders their savior after getting what they want. Damien flinched. To my astonishment, his tone softened. If wealth is your desire, I could provide for you. What? I gaped. Mistaking shock for interest. He smiled nostalgically. In our past life, Lorraine suffered because you interfered. But this time, you've stayed away. I realize now. I don't actually despise you. My revulsion mounted as he continued, swear never to compete with Lorraine or mistreat her. After she bears my heir. Perhaps I'll give you children 2, 3. Like before. Let that heal old wounds. Before I could retch. He turned. I'll handle this marriage farce with Ethan. As he strode away, I doubled over. Hatred surging like bile. I'd believed myself numb to his cruelty. But hearing him reduce our tragic history to this grotesque bargain. Leaning against the wall, I watched his retreating figure through tears of fury. The dam had broken, every suppressed ounce of loathing now flooded my veins. Unstoppable and all-consuming. Damien Wilson. Enjoy your last moments of revelry. For your reckless actions have likely left you with no more than 3 days to live. 3 days later, Damien was set to marry Ethan. Yet only the Wilson family buzzed with wedding preparations while the Cole residents remained eerily silent. Showing no signs of nuptial festivities. Damien's assistant reported the Cole family's apparent lack of preparation. A sly smile crept across Damien's face. I owe Ethan an apology. Tomorrow I'll personally select a new bridal candidate for him. An unfamiliar thrill surged through him. More intense than even the night Lorraine had given herself to him. As Damien strode outside, onlookers teased. 2 bridal cars? Is the Wilson heir taking 2 brides today? Barely containing his excitement, Damien bypassed Lorraine's vehicle and rushed toward the newly arrived car. His heart pounded as he yanked open the door. Claire. You came after all, his triumphant expression shattered as blood suddenly gushed from his mouth, staining the cobblestones crimson. Damien. The crowd screamed as he collapsed. Lorraine emerged weeping from her car, flinging herself onto his trembling form. Stay with me. Damien. What would become of me if, his weakening hand absently stroked her hair while his gaze remained locked on the mysterious vehicle. The family physician paled during examination. He won't survive the night. Had he conserved his strength these past 3 days, we might have extended his life 6 months. Now not even a miracle worker could save him. As death's grip tightened, Damien clawed at the air, rasping. Claire, only Claire can save me through marital union. Panicked shouts echoed, where's Miss Simmons? Find her immediately. In his final moments, bitter regret flooded Damien. Memories surfaced of his previous life with Claire, her tender care during pregnancy. Preparing medicinal broths even while in labor. He recalled cruelly smashing the food containers. Sneering. You think this pathetic display will earn my affection? Yet her eyes had held only concern as she whispered. The doctor said you need these tonics. Before waddling away with shattered dignity. Now, as darkness encroached, Damien's fading consciousness clung to that last image of Claire's retreating silhouette, the woman whose love he'd spurned. Whose healing touch might have saved him. Had he not chosen fleeting passion over life itself? Even if Claire Simmons lied to the Wilson family patriarch, taking advantage of his weakened state to seduce him and ruin any chance between herself and Lorraine Vincent, yet she truly loved him. She was about to bear him 2 children. Maybe Damien should let go, release his obsession with Lorraine. Abandon his resentment toward Claire. From now on, live peacefully. But the next instant, Lorraine's nanny came screaming that Lorraine had been beaten to death by her abusive husband. Kneeling before him, the nanny handed over a blood-stained farewell letter. The letter revealed Lorraine had been intimate with him, conceiving his child. When her husband later discovered the pregnancy timeline didn't match, he'd beaten her. She wrote, if those doctors hadn't misdiagnosed you with terminal infertility. If that woman pretending to have fertility-enhancing qualities hadn't appeared. Would we have missed each other? Would my child and I still be alive? Rage consumed him. He hated the incompetent doctors. He loathed Claire for weaving her web of lies to marry into wealth, destroying Lorraine and their unborn child, forever separating him from his true love. Like a man possessed, he viciously kicked pregnant Claire, later ignoring her pleas for help. He even sent footage of this to the Simmons family, causing her parents fatal heart attacks. Yet now, He suddenly realized, perhaps Claire's claims about the healing ritual were true. Without her participating in the ritual, he might truly die. Damien Wilson struggled, pointing feebly toward the car outside. Claire's right there. She promised to stay. Bring her to perform the ritual, his voice cracked. Claire. I was wrong. After I recover, I'll tell grandfather to welcome you into the Wilson family. But as his desperate words hung in the air, the car door opened to reveal only shredded wedding gown fragments. Damien's face drained of color. How? A choked gasp escaped him before he vomited black blood. Collapsing. Lorraine stood pale nearby, muttering, "This can't be." The rumors about his terminal infertility were supposed to be fake. Find Claire Simmons. Someone shouted. Drag her here by force if needed, Damien must complete the ritual. A deep voice cut through the chaos from the doorway. You'd kidnap another man's wife for the Wilson heir's bed? Not while I draw breath. The crowd froze in terror. Gasps erupted. Ethan Cole. He's risen from the dead? I tried supporting Ethan, but the stubborn man refused, clutching me protectively despite his frailty. His trembling body pressed mine, infuriating yet endearing. He'd just awakened from coma, yet insisted on confronting them for my sake. So recklessly sweet. The Wilson patriarch snapped from his shock, tears of joy streaming. Ethan. I'd never have done this madness if not to save Damien. If your wife can heal him, I'll gladly atone with my life afterward. All eyes turned to me, expectations heavy as stone. I remained calm. This scene had played in my mind countless times. Without me performing the ritual, Damien would die. Even if I marry Ethan, as long as Damien's life is in danger, the Wilson family patriarch will definitely force me to perform the lucky transfer ritual with him. In the face of capital operations, it seems I can't resist. So I can only, I softly said, if I can save Damien. Of course I'm willing. It's just what? I'll promise you anything. There was a fierce look in the Wilson family patriarch's eyes. He looked at Lorraine beside him and said, as long as you can save Damien, I'll make you the only Mrs. Wilson. Even the child in her belly, I'll let you raise it. The child will only recognize you as the mother. Lorraine's face turned deathly pale. She grabbed Damien's wrist and wept uncontrollably. Brother Damien, if I had such a skill, I'd be willing to sacrifice myself for you, even if it means giving up my life. But I can't. I'm willing to kneel in the Buddhist hall and pray for you. But Damien ignored her and just stared at me blankly. I curled my lips and tried to look sad. It's a pity that the lucky transfer ritual can only be done once. I've already saved Ethan. And now I'm probably pregnant with his child. I'm just like an ordinary woman now and can't perform the ritual again. Everyone's faces changed drastically. The Wilson family patriarch slumped to the ground. Then go to your village and find someone else. I sneered inwardly and calmly said, not everyone can perform the lucky transfer ritual. The other women in the village are just fertile, but they can't nourish others. However, I remember an ancient book saying that as long as my blood is used with ginseng, it can also relieve the illness. I think Damien can give it a try. After saying that, I cut my wrist and dripped a bowl of blood for the doctor. Under the greedy gaze of the Wilson family patriarch, I softly said, it's a pity that this can only be used once. If I bleed again to make medicine for Damien, it will have the opposite effect. The Wilson family patriarch's face changed greatly and didn't dare to think more. After all, Damien's life was at stake. They had no choice but to trust me and didn't dare to act rashly. After taking the medicine, Damien, who had been as pale as a dead man, instantly looked better. Everyone's faces relaxed. The Wilson family patriarch even held my hand with tears in his eyes and said, good girl. Damien treated you so badly and bullied you. Yet you can still save him without holding a grudge. I really appreciate you. I can transfer the shares of the Wilson group to you right now. I smiled and didn't decline. This was what I deserved. Damien gradually woke up. His eyes were full of tears as he looked at me. Sorry, after 2 lifetimes. He finally said what he owed me. But it wasn't enough. I remained silent. He sobbed and said on his own, "I was wrong about you. I thought those rumors about the lucky transfer ritual were just lies you used to climb up the social ladder. So I misunderstood you. In my past life, I only knew that Lorraine had my child. Then her husband found out and beat her to death. That's why I held a grudge against you." His eyes sparkled with intense love. "Now, Lorraine is still alive. And the child in her belly is fine. You've saved me again. I owe you twice in 2 lifetimes. In this life. Let's start over. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you," I calmly said. Damien was in a coma and didn't know that I've married Ethan. It's like you're trying to steal someone's wife by saying these things now. Damien's face turned ashen. After a moment of stunned silence, he said painfully, "I'll do everything I can to make it up to Ethan. You have a special constitution and might be pregnant now. As long as you're willing to have an abortion, I can marry you. Let Lorraine just follow me from now on." I scoffed. "No need. I'm fine with Ethan. Besides, I think you have a really bad memory. You always forget what I said. I don't want to marry you. And it's impossible for me to marry you. I hate you." "How is that possible? If you hate me and don't want to marry me, why didn't you just let me die? Why did you save me?" Damien couldn't believe it and shouted hoarsely, "You still love me. You clearly still love me." I didn't argue and just got up and left. When Ethan saw me coming out, the oppressive atmosphere around him instantly relaxed. He seemed to let out a sigh of relief. I found it a bit funny and joked with him. "What's wrong with you? It's like you thought I wasn't coming back." His deep-set eyes gazed at me intently. The corners tinged red. "I am afraid." I chuckled lightly. "Do you think I saved Damien out of lingering affection? Like everyone assumes?" Ethan turned his face away. "No." I smiled without responding. Death brings momentary satisfaction. But how could it ever atone for the lifetimes of suffering endured by me and my parents? True torment lies in living, existing endlessly in this earthly purgatory. Leaning on Ethan for support, I walked past Lorraine's venomous glare, offering her a serene smile. "Damien, savor your survival. What you don't know is this: while my blood can prolong your life, it curses you with tenfold agony until death claims you. Relish every excruciating moment until you meet the child Lorraine carries. The heir you've craved through 2 lifetimes that will never bear your bloodline. After all, sterility runs in your veins." The following spring, I delivered triplets. Staring at the drooling infants blinking up at me with round eyes, I wept uncontrollably. Ethan clumsily wiped my tears while juggling the newborns, murmuring apologies. "Why apologize when it's not your fault?" I laughed through tears. His palm brushed my postpartum belly, eyes glistening. "You've endured so much to give me these children." I collapsed into his arms, laughter shaking my frame. Damien sent 3 engraved lockets bearing the nicknames I'd chosen in our past life. Disgusted, I melted the gold and donated it to an orphanage. By then, Damien had become bedridden, trapped in decaying flesh that refused death's release. Lorraine's downfall came during her confinement month when the Wilson patriarch caught her mid-affair. Paralyzed witnesses carried Damien to watch as her lover, the same brute who'd beaten her to death in our previous life, begged mercy while exposing their secrets. Lorraine's child belonged not to Damien, but to a playboy from a powerful family who'd discarded her after marrying into higher status. Her desperate ploy to pass the child as Damien's heir had failed twice, first through my interference in the past timeline, then through this humiliating exposure. The revelation shattered Damien's remaining vitality. After doctors revived him from cardiac arrest, he rasped 2 final commands: "Sue Lorraine," and "apologized to me." I scoffed at his belated remorse. Packing luggage as Ethan loaded our children into the car, we embarked on our global journey as spring blossoms unfurled, leaving behind the ashes of vengeance. Ahead stretched lifetimes of peace, untainted by ghosts of the past.